Go. Just point out, I know you guys probably love my little beanie hat over here. If I have it off, my hair's a mess because Michael and I did pool sessions earlier today. So we're here to do the kind of the open water dive section of our class. I'm getting recertified, and then we're going to work on getting Oliver, Lukas, and Maki certified because why not? You know, we live on the boat, and there's so much for us to see under the sea. So this is Michael, and so you could just tell us what are the things that, when it comes to scuba diving, I know, you know, I don't feel like it's brand new to me, but what are the things, I know that, you know, there's lots and lots of boat owners, and Maki would be one of them to say, oh, you know, I'm afraid of scuba diving, and I would tell her scuba diving is actually really, really safe, but you do need to know what you're doing. So I think what are the things that you would bring to families, for children to learn, so that when we all go out on our boats, that we feel safe and competent to know, you know, what we're doing with all of our equipment, so that we can really focus on enjoying what the sea has to offer.
Okay, in order to get safety is doing the education through the manual first, then after going to the pool, take your time, practicing that with the kids, with the family, so showing how it is, showing how you do it, that, you know, so 1 or 2 or 3 times, or in our 4 dives, so that will increase your comfort on the water, and will master your skills. So that's something that we need to do, and that is the way I like to go, you know, so that way you're gonna learn, be safe, and have a nice practice. Already I'm diving for 25 years, and I will still doing that for a long time, but always I apply my safety rules, the same that they're gonna teach you and you're gonna do today.
What's the time frame? Let's just say a family like us came to you. How long does it take? Like,
after you read the manual, and we do the knowledge review manual in one afternoon, we're gonna go over the presentation, checking or making sure that you understand every concept that is in the manual. We're gonna go after that to the pool. 2 or 3 pool sessions, depending how good the people feel with that, how you see, or I see that the people do the performance with the skills and how they feel, then we're gonna jump into the ocean right there. So,
and chances are they're gonna come with no equipment because, right, they're not certified. So what happens? Like, do you have all the equipment, like, especially for kids? Like,
I have the equipment that I provide is the tanks, BCD, regulators, weights. The only thing that the person needs to have is the fins, mask, snorkel, and the DSMB, the deployable signal marker buoy. Everybody needs that because that's a safety standard. So when you are in the middle of the water, you come up to the surface, you finish your dive, you're gonna inflate the DSMB, and that's make you more visible for the boats that are running in the area, and nobody will cross over you there. So colors are pink, brilliant pink, yellow. So we have some of those ones. So
okay,
yeah, everybody needs it.
All right. Well, I think that's it for now. We should get in the water. It's getting hot out here.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
So, what do you do with all this stuff?
Just wrap around your head.
And I would suggest at least one person on the crew be a certified scuba diver and have some equipment on board from a safety standpoint. You can, of course, if something happened, something fouled the props, or you needed to do some kind of work under the boat, you could certainly free dive. The problem is you are really buoyant in seawater, and so to keep yourself down, even on this with roughly a 5-foot draft on this boat, I can swim down to the bottom of the keels and actually position myself under the keel to try to hold myself down, but you're exerting so much energy to try to stay under the boat that if whatever you're down there to do, you're gonna be hard pressed to do it. So having some basic scuba gear, we have scuba tanks on board. We do not have a compressor, but filling tanks is pretty easy with all the dive shops around. But it's great to be able to throw on your gear and jump in, and you have the better part of an hour underwater to do some work. So it's important just to be able to take care of yourself. That's everything from fixing a little thing on the engine, fixing something on the sail, the blocks, or in this case, anything that you might have to do under the boat in the water.
So what do you have as the basics for diving? You have,
well,
what are you
this
wearing?
is all just the basic gear. I'm wearing Louis Vuitton fall collection.
2019.
That's right. All right, so this is all the basic stuff. For those of you that scuba dive, this is this is your regulators. So in scuba diving, you're going to have a primary regulator, a backup or secondary, and this is also not that you need to buddy dive when you're working on your own boat, but in general, the rule for scuba diving is that you always go with a buddy. So the main regulator is for you. This is what you're breathing from. These are called on-demand regulators, which means that the air is not constantly flowing. So when you go to breathe in, the gate opens and you get air. If they were to ever break, everybody's always concerned about, oh, what if something broke down there? Well, these are all designed that the only way it could possibly break is in an open position, which means the air now is constantly running, which means then you wouldn't want to surface as soon as possible. So anyway, primary regulator, backup regulator for yourself or for a buddy. This is the dive computer. So this monitors your depth, your bottom time, how much time you have left before you need to ascend, standard compass. This monitors the air pressure remaining in your tank. This thing, thanks to my dive master Michael, this is a really cool gadget. To be honest, I don't know what it's called. Dive Alert Plus. So the way this works is that when you plug in, you put your scuba diving, you put your tank on back, and this goes on top of the oxygen, the tank. This gets clipped into your BC right here. And so when this gets clipped in here, and now there's air flowing through it, and so what you end up doing is you just push this underwater. It's basically to get your buddy's attention, and it is it's loud. It's quite loud underwater. Easily.
It's horn.
Yeah. To be honest, underwater it sounds like a duck. It's a little bit of a quack quack, but it does. Think about, everyone's like, oh, your buddy may not be close enough that you could reach out and touch him, and you may need his or her immediate attention. So having something like this where you could just give this a couple hits, it gets your attention. So it's cool to have this. So anyway, you have to have your regulators. Then this that's on me is called the BC, buoyancy compensator. So this thing allows you to gain buoyancy in the water. It has, I don't think they're in here right now, but there are weights. These bags hold weight. So based on your body weight, you end up putting these little bean-baggy weight bags in here. And so this is what weighs you down. So again, ocean water, you're really buoyant and you'll tend to float. And so this gives me weight. If there was ever an emergency, full-blown emergency underwater, and I needed to ascend right away, you would simply pull these out, drop them, and now there's no weight holding me down anymore, and I'm gonna go straight up. The buoyancy compensator is set so that between the weight your body weight, the weights that you have in here, and these bladders that are in here. So when you you press this when it's connected to air, you press this button and it blows this like a life vest. So it inflates. Now you don't want to, when you first get in, you inflate it and you're going to float on top of the water. When you're ready to go down, you push this button and it lets the air down and you start to sink. Now you will tap this a little bit and gain buoyancy. So you could be 30, 40, 100 feet down, and it is a pretty magical experience to be able to have neutral buoyancy. So as you breathe in, the only kind of up and down you're doing is the air that's in your lungs. So as you inhale, you'll go up a little bit. As you exhale, you'll go down a little bit. And then you're just floating like you're in space. So anyway, you need a buoyancy compensator. My mask is not in here, but you need a snorkel and mask. So this you'll always have. Anytime you come to the surface, you take your regulator out of your mouth and you put this in, and that's why you're able to breathe. You want to do that because if there's any kind of wind, waves, you could end up with a mouthful of seawater, and now you could end up in a crappy situation. Obviously, you need fins. You can't get around without these guys, so you'll get that. You want to have some booties, so this keeps you from getting any kind of a rash on the backs of your heels from kicking. So the booties would be on your feet, and these go in here. Again, I'm not sharing anything that avid scuba divers certainly know all of this. This is a dive knife. There are two different types. The one that, again, I learned this from my dive master, but so you could have this on your vest or even down on the belt, but it's a blunt-ended knife so that you don't accidentally poke a hole in your BC. So I'll show you the comparison of the two. Right, so this goes here, and it straps around your calf. You always want to have this with you. Again, this is a big one from a safety standpoint. If anything happened while you were down diving, you're probably not going to be able to pry it out. You could get wrapped around some fishing net that was floating around, or fishing line that's in the ocean, and now you find yourself in serious trouble. So you always want to have a dive knife with you. You want to fresh water rinse all of this stuff. So once you've been in the water, rinse it off to take good care of it. And that's it. Be safe, have fun, and live life with passion.
Can you put those knives back on you, strap them around you?
This?
It just makes you look like James Bond. What's this guy's James Bond name?
James Bond.
No, but the actor.
Daniel Craig?
Oh. It makes you look, yeah.
Daniel Craig's in pretty good shape. Thank you, dear. All right, enough goofing off.
Are you ready to go down?
Yep, let's do this.